y'all doing? Y'all know what it is and who it is. I am Mr. Dark Eye, and this is the Mr. Dark Eye Podcast. We are live at Sweet Tea Cafe in Rock Hill, South Carolina, conveniently located downtown in 125 Elk Ave. Be sure to stop by to get some of this good food. It's Southern cuisine with a New York flair. I promise you, the meatloaf is good. And according to the mayor here,
shrimp tacos.
Shrimp tacos are the best. So make sure y'all make your way down to Sweet Tea Cafe and tell them we sent you. So we are here live, man. We're getting ready to just have a great time, Mayor. How are you doing? Mayor John Gettys, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Yeah. I'm good.
Yeah,
good.
Thank you so much.
Oh, gosh, my pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming through. I know you got a busy schedule and just all over the place these days. How's life? How's your family? How's everybody?
Everybody's good. I'm married, have 3 boys. I have a son that just graduated from Clemson, looking for a job.
Okay.
Another one that's at Clemson, and my third's a senior at South Point High School.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. I had a nephew graduate from South Point, Morris Jackson. Man, definitely great school. So give us a little bit of background. Where are you from? Are you from Rock Hill or?
No, my dad and extended family have been here for generations.
Okay.
But my dad, after graduating from law school, took a job in Greenville, which I was actually born in Columbia, lived in Greenville, then Orangeburg, then Columbia again, and then moved to Rock Hill when I was 13. So I've called Rock Hill home since I've been 13, which is a little over 40 years now.
Oh, long time.
I learned when I was in politics, the first time I ran for office, someone said, well, you're from Rock Hill. And I said, well, and I did like that. And somebody said, oh, he's not from Rock Hill. I said, well, no, I'm not. I wasn't born here, but my blood runs deep.
Oh, yeah, it's a long time. And, just the fact that you've been here for decades like that, Rock Hill. So from your perspective, would you say Rock Hill is a healthy, successful, great place to live? Do you feel like it's a place that's thriving and growing at a level where you see it's reaching its potential? In
a lot of ways I do. In a lot of ways I think we've still got work to do, to be quite honest. I think where we've come in the last 5 years, 10 years is remarkable in a lot of ways. But there's so much more we can do as a community. We've got some real strong projects ongoing on the south side of Rock Hill, which we haven't seen development on in my lifetime, really, other than Ernest Brown at North Central Family and Family Trust Credit Union. And, that's really going to be, I think, the story of Rock Hill for the next 20 years, is just to see how that's burnished out, how we see our community become much more balanced in a lot of ways, and that new marketplace really opening up that you and so many others are leading.
Absolutely. Do you feel like it's more important for us to kind of build and expand, or concentrate more on rehabbing and kind of better utilizing what we already have here?
Well, I think it's a little bit of both, but to really be able to rehab or to build up things that have deteriorated over time, you got to have new tax revenue. Okay. You get that new tax revenue either by taxing people more, which I don't want to do.
No.
Or we get new construction to come in, big construction, 1.5 million square foot buildings that pay a lot of property taxes each year that you and I don't have to pay to come in and cover that cost. As long as you're not spending more of that money and you're able to put it into Rock Hill where we need to rehab or refurbish, you're on a good path, and that's what a tax increment does. It allows for new construction, new growth to pay for what we all need here, which is better growth.
Absolutely. So when we think about just Rock Hill, as far as like what the community needs are, what they're voicing as far as what they need. What are some of the ways that they can, voice their needs and what they want, or what they see fit as far as what they want to see in Rock Hill?
Sure. Well, we've got a lot of exciting stuff coming on right now. We'll start with the preliminary meeting tomorrow, but by the first of the year, we'll start having community meetings about a new park that we're going to build.
Okay.
It's going to be a big park. It'll start right off of Heckle Boulevard and sort of bend all the way through Arcade Victoria and come out on Wilson Street. It'll be over 100 acres, maybe 120 acres, a central park, if you will. And what we have to do, and I think every member of City Council is committed to this, is we have to make sure that the neighbors that live around there have the say in what we want the park to look like. We'll have to have a revenue generator, some sport that brings people into town to spend their money like we do with the Sports and Event Center or Manchester Meadows, Cherry Park, and BMX. But once that money comes in, what do we want to use it for so that the general public gets to take advantage of this big park? So we'll have that conversation ongoing. Other things that are coming up that we'll see that I hope will really call for a lot of community dialogue.
Oh yeah. Because I think for me, I know it's important for because I know a lot of people just not aware of how they can get involved and talk about some things that they see, that's a concern of theirs, and let some people know about those things. Let's talk about, you as the mayor of Rock Hill. Like, what does that look like? That job, you know what I mean? Like, what does that look? Because a lot of people really don't know. Like, what does all the mayor do? So, talk about like what is it that you kind of do day to day, and what your responsibility is as the mayor.
Well, the mayor in Rock Hill is a part-time position.
Okay,
it's
part-time.
That's right. The city,
I would have never thought that.
The city is actually run by a city manager and who has department heads, and the mayor and the city council members are elected to act in some ways like a regulator, like a regulator on an engine. If you're in a golf cart, you want to mess it, go really fast. Right. Or if your kid's driving it, make it go really slow, right? Well, the city council acts a little bit like a regulator in how do we want to see the city grow, or what opportunities do we want to see the city government provide for more of our people in Rock Hill. Another role that a mayor plays is also not just regulating, but encouraging and trying to inspire us to recognize that we can do so much more than we have been doing. And I think we're seeing the benefits of that now. I think a strong city council like we have helped us get through that pandemic, helped us get through a lot of parts of that a lot better than most cities, right? Our economy is strong and was throughout the pandemic. We didn't see massive layoffs in this area. I'm worried about that as the economy continues to sort of shake and move a little bit right now. But as a mayor, your job is to make sure you're getting out to the people and answering questions, but also making sure we all realize that we have so much more in common than we have that separates us. Right. And the only way to see that through is to work towards good outcomes for all of us. So, it's a part-time job, but that part-time lasts a good bit of the day and the weekends and some evenings. In Rock Hill, it's just a fabulous job to have right now because so many people are invested in seeing us become so much more than what we have been.
Yeah, I see, one thing I could say about you, I see you a lot in the community, doing a lot of things and being a part of a lot of stuff that goes on. What was it that really wanted to make you become mayor of Rock Hill? Like, how did you get to this point to want to be mayor of Rock Hill?
Sure. Well, I was on city council from 2002 to 2010. Okay. And I enjoyed that, but I realized in my second term that I would feel better, or I was more motivated to have the role of a mayor. And our mayor at the time, I couldn't have beat him if I wanted to try. Don't get me wrong. But he was fabulous. Doug Eccles did a great job. And when I left, I said, Doug, when you're done, I'd like the opportunity to think about running at that time. And so he retired after 20 years as mayor, which I don't know how he did that.
20
but
years.
He did it, and he did it well. And so it's just something, I took a little break of about 8 years in between being on city council and running for mayor, and just felt like when it was time, when he was ready to step down, I was ready to sort of see what we could do in Rock Hill maybe and build upon. One of the first addresses I gave as mayor, I challenged the people of Rock Hill and said, we're pretty successful. It's hard to recognize your success, but we really could be significant. What's it going to take for us to be significant? And that's going to take a strong business community leading the way. It's going to take opportunities to come along that we grab a hold to and shake that tree for all it's worth. And it's been fun to be part of that.
It definitely, I'm seeing Rock Hill grow. I mean, I've been in Rock Hill all my life, 41 years. I'm 41 years old, so I've been here, born and raised here, and seeing the level of where it's growing and all of those things. Did you feel like I heard you use the word you was thinking about it? Right. So did you feel like it was going to be a lot to take on? Did you feel any pressure or any intimidation?
Oh, sure. It's a big city.
Right.
We're the 5th largest city in South Carolina, and we're a good diversity. We got a lot of great things, and it just takes, I think, people that want to pull those things together and point in a certain direction. And when I was in law school, I also got a master's degree in public administration, so I'd studied how you do this kind of stuff.
Okay.
And have been a part of it when I was on city council. And then between city council running for mayor, I helped start up, the city created, and I was the first chair of the sports commission. And the sports commission had a lot to do with a lot of things that were going on over the last 10 years, well, 5 years before running for mayor. So I was still involved and still saw the potential for us as a community, and know the city manager and the other members of the city council, were just very strong, and we had that moment in time that I wanted to be a part of.
Yeah, so it sounds like you went through the necessary things to prepare you
Oh, yes.
to be mayor, because people skip steps.
Yeah.
And when you do that, and when you get to the point where there's some things responsibilities or some tasks that you could have taken on, but you skip steps, so now you're not, you wasn't ready. But it sounds like to me that's exactly what happened in your journey to getting to a point where you are a mayor. How do you deal with the challenges and those pressure points? Like when things get a little chaotic, like what's your process?
Well, I try not to talk. I try to take a little bit of time and sort of let things settle down just a bit to understand what the true issue is. I've found, not just as mayor, but well before, that people will run out and start talking, usually don't have answers, they're just talking.
Right.
That's not really, in my opinion, the role of a mayor. The role of a mayor should be one who's given some wise counsel. I'll call people and say, what do you think? What do you think? And sort of take people's temperature on certain issues. But the thing that I've got that makes just my job so much easier is I've got a city council that is second to none. They are really, really talented, and we all work very well together. You don't see any drama on city council. You don't see us raising our voices at each other. You don't see people running out and giving quotes to the paper that might hurt someone else. I mean, we don't all agree on everything, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But we do it professionally. And, we'll call each other up and say, look, I don't think I can support this. Let me tell you why. And, if there's a way that we can sort of push certain things to get to an accommodation that most of us can support, we get there. And if not, we don't hold it against each other. Sometimes the timing's just not right for things. And I think when you have a mature city council, people that, like we've got Kevin Sutton, who's been on city council for almost 30 years, if not 30 years. Jim Marino's about just a little less than that. Kathy Pender, who's been on city council for 20 years, but before that was chair of the school board, so she's seen it all as well. And you've got John Black, who's now been on city council for 12 years, 13 years now, I think. And then you've got, Derek Lindsay, who has been on for a term, or coming up on a term, but he runs his own restaurant, so he knows. The first thing you gotta do is get everybody who works for you paid. Once they're paid, then you make money. I mean, it's that kind of mindset of understanding and setting up how you get things done in a logical fashion, so you're not skipping steps, like you said. And then Perry Sutton, who's brand new to city council, but being a Coast Guard retiree, he's commanded men before, men and women before. So, these are very mature, very responsible people that we disagree a good bit.
Right.
But we disagree in a loving way, in a way that we continue to work through issues and try to get to a good outcome.
Yeah, that's key what you're saying too about having a team and people around you to help you kind of complete all the necessary moving parts that's needed to accomplish goals and things of that nature. Because I really do truly believe, like, in order to be great, you need the help. You can't be great by yourself.
No, not at all.
Definitely can't be great by yourself.
Only one person did that, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely, and that's Jesus Christ. That's right. So I think the great thing about it all is seeing the journey, and then to hear you talk about the journey and how it all came together, and just seeing, like I say, seeing you active in the community and things of that nature. because I really truly see you as someone who really loves Rock Hill. What are some of your favorite places to go in Rock Hill?
Oh gosh! Now see, you can't ask a mayor that, right? Because everything you forget to say, they're gonna say, "What about me?" Right?
Yeah. You're right.
I love Rock Hill. I mean, that's true. And when I moved here, when I was 13 years old, my dad came home to practice law. My mom was started teaching school again.
Yeah.
We moved to Rock Hill 3 days before I started sixth grade. Seventh grade. Back then, it was junior high and high school. Was it like that when you came up? Or were you
It was junior.
So 7, 8, 9, and then 10, 11, 12, right?
Yep.
So we moved to Rock Hill 3 days before I started seventh grade. I didn't know a soul. And I had to go to this new school, and I remember getting on the bus. I remember getting off the bus at the school at the back of the bus and looking and seeing guys with mustache and facial hair. These are ninth graders now. Cut off T-shirts, smoking. Remember everybody smoking in school back then? I turned that bus driver and said, "You taking me home?" I mean, this wasn't where I had come from Columbia. But the people in Rock Hill, the teachers, the principal, Mike Pinson, so many others that didn't know me but knew members of my family, were really good to me. And they'd stop me and say, "Look, I know who you are. You're going to be all right. If you need me, come see me." And that's just been the story of Rock Hill to me. So, I love our community, always have, but it's because this community took care of me when I was a teenager, and I need a lot of people taking care of me.
So at the end of the day, you just love Rock Hill as a whole. Anywhere and everywhere you go, it's your favorite place.
You got it. So you should be mayor.
hey, I could be. You might be speaking something to existence, man.
That's right.
I was talking it over with Gervais, my business partner over there. I told him, I said, I could see myself being the music mayor
there you go.
of Rock Hill.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All I need you to do is sign off on it.
All right.
And then we ready to go. We're ready to go.
One thing we did create once it became mayor was the position of poet laureate.
We
didn't have that before. Angelo,
Angelo.
He's done a fabulous job, and it's just, and you look around now, you look out this window and see the new mural going up on the library. The arts in Rock Hill really have sort of taken off. Really sort of have. But what we don't have yet is a good, vocal scene. We got a lot of great vocal people. Don't get me wrong. We got to figure a way how to make that part of our story as well.
There you go. So you hearing it here first, folks. Mayor John Gettys is saying he's going to put me in position to be the music mayor of Rock Hill. So
that means something like that.
Something like that. But at the end of the day, I'm willing to take the task on. It's all about creating opportunities. And because one thing I noticed when I was coming up that, a lot of people, especially come down to certain industries, they talk about being a lack of opportunity, especially like in the entertainment business here and everything like that. Speak a little bit on the opportunities that Rock Hill is working on for aspiring up-and-coming business owners and entrepreneurs. I know we had Bell of Rock Hill that was doing some great things, Don Johnson and Tadian Page. So what are some ideas or some things that you know of that's happening right now to implement more opportunities for business owners and entrepreneurs?
Sure. Well, Bell, as you mentioned, the Black Economic Leadership League,
Absolutely.
Don Johnson, Tadian Page, John Gregory, so many others.
That's
probably been 3 or 4 years into existence now, and it's really sort of taken off. It's really done a very good job of helping young folk, not necessarily young, but young as in their businesses, and trying to build them up to scale, to take off. And that's been fabulous. The city used to have something called the Technology Incubator. We've sort of changed that now. Rather than the city trying to make all that work, there's a group of private entrepreneurs that create something called the Gravity Center. And the city works with that crowd. We have an employee that works with those business owners and that oversight board, and we put, investing in that program, and that helps some. I know our new chamber president, Dean Fail, really wants to get after workforce development from a chamber's perspective. And of course, at our economic development office, Cameron Mitchell, Tadian Page, Jennifer McAdams, they're just really locked in on how we try to help more of our kids get jobs when they come out. One thing I'm very proud of that we did a few years ago with the school district as a partner is created something called The Works. And that brings kids from our high schools that aren't going to college or the military at this time, and brings them into the city for a day and doesn't just talk about jobs, but takes them like to the police department, and they go out to the firing range and they shoot a gun. or they go out to the fire department training facility and carry a hose up the ladder. You know, just trying to get kids to recognize we've got jobs. These are good paying jobs with retirement, with health insurance, a good livable wage. If you're coming out and you don't have a plan, we've got opportunities for you. And so it's really that hands-on, you know, kind of relationship that hadn't always been here. You know, the city's really not traditionally in the business of workforce development, but we've sort of had to be. And I'll tell you, the best partner in that, hands down, is York Technical College, Stacy Moore and what she's doing. And Winthrop and Clinton College are great partners as well, but Stacy Moore, Dr. Moore, President Moore, really is sort of understood and understands how we get. I mean, we got more jobs than we got people right now. We just got to get people into them. And she's got a way to make that happen.
Yeah, that's definitely a good thing there, you know, because a lot of people are definitely in need of a job. And you know, I know it's been tough since the pandemic, but yeah, that's definitely a great thing. Speaking about opportunities in Rock Hill, can you, whatever you could speak on in regards to the Panthers practice facility? Like, where are we at with that right now?
Right. So we had this great, wonderful vision of a practice facility, and then a commercial development surrounding that out on I-77. We struck a deal, have a contract, and building was going very well. And what was in the contract at the very beginning was a statement or part of the contract that we negotiated that said the city of Rock Hill will not financially back this project. We would not provide the backstop, if you will, so that the full faith and credit of the people of Rock Hill would be behind the project. And the reason we didn't do that, and thank goodness we didn't, is if something were to happen to that project, we would be responsible for the debt. We would be responsible for finishing the project. And we would never agree to that because, life happens.
Absolutely.
What happens if, another hurricane comes through and wipes something out? Or what other thing? And what we've come to find out less than a year ago, well, since January, is, the owner, developer of that site just changed his mind and decided he didn't want to continue on.
Wow. Yeah, I know a lot of people was definitely looking forward to what that was going to bring to Rock Hill. And I mean, I think it's bittersweet. It's a light. It was a great thing that we felt like was coming. So at this point, we're just going to basically move on at this point. It's all we really can do.
Mr. Tepper and his organizations, they own that land, the city doesn't.
Okay.
He's going to do what he decides he wants to do.
What he decides to do with it, okay.
But I'll tell you, last month I went down to Atlanta to watch the Braves play, and going into their stadium where you're going through Battery Park, that's what this would have been. And I was walking through and I kept looking at my wife going, this is what we were going to have. We're not going to have that now. It doesn't appear. We're not going to have that Disney World flavor of that site that I think we felt like we'd see up until January. But what we end up with there is going to be pretty nice, whatever it is. I mean, it's not going to end up being something that we're all upset about or sad about. Bittersweet's a good way to word it. It would have been really something special. It'll still be something good, but don't know quite what that's going to be yet.
Yeah. I guess we just wait and see. Some people, when they look at Rock Hill as a whole, as far as transportation, I know we got the bus system and everything like that. When you look at our neighborhoods and the idea of, I heard some people talk about like the idea of what would be nice to have what we call a complete neighborhood, where we got more things close by they get to, like grocery stores and different things of that nature or whatever. Is there any kind of plans or ideas of trying to create more complete neighborhoods in that sense?
Sure. So any developer that comes in and wants to build a brand new neighborhood, they have certain amenities now under the code they have to provide. That's not really to the degree that you're talking, but there is that by the private developer. What we're doing now, this tax increment district that I mentioned earlier, it allows us to build things that are for the public's benefit. Last week, was it the week before, Councilmember Lindsey and Perry and I flew up to Washington, D.C. to meet with Senator Tim Scott and Senator Lindsey Graham to talk about, what help we would love to see the federal government give us in this area. We've got this new park I mentioned a minute ago, which will bring a big impact, like you're talking, for neighborhoods that haven't had those amenities in the past, the older part of Rock Hill. And then we see we'll have an announcement relatively soon about an investment in another park on the south side of Rock Hill that'll also help sort of burnish us, continue to, years ago the city decided it wanted to build inside out. So we'll start pulling it out a little bit further and a little bit further over time. And you want to do that not too fast, because you don't want people to feel like they're being pushed out of Rock Hill by any means, and making sure that people all are engaged in what we see happening and coming to our community. So a lot of great things to happen, but when you talk about where we are, it's going to take, we'll see some real good things within a year or two now, really dirt moving for public amenities, but we'll see this now for the next 20-25 years, bigger things happening, continuing to happen in Rock Hill.
Absolutely. What is your take on like any kind of zoning issues in Rock Hill, and what do you see as far as like anything that you feel like we can change or make better about the zoning in Rock Hill?
Yeah, so zoning in Rock Hill is difficult because it's, for every push or pull in this reaction, you got a push or pull in the other. It's a cause and effect kind of thing. Without a specific thing to talk about, I do see that with more redevelopment happening, it will call for more rezonings of property. Okay. Just in a year ago now, we just rezoned 2,500 acres out on I-77. All that property was not in the city limits. Okay. All the property owners voluntarily came into the city limits and got zoning for big businesses to go there, IG or H, which means you have some distribution facilities, a lot of manufacturing, industrial, and out there, and that's where we'll start seeing even more jobs come over the future. Well, we won't really see any zoning that doesn't fit that out there. I mean, you don't want to see that kind of development in, somebody's housing development right in the middle of it. They just don't fit. Likewise, you don't want to see that kind of development in areas where we have a lot of housing. So a lot of, sort of fitting things in as we go, but there's always some tension with the zoning code, because what I've always found is people that have moved in and live somewhere, when you come up and say, all those woods behind you that you don't own, all those woods behind you get to enjoy, another development's coming in there and goes, well, you're taking my woods. Right. They weren't your woods. Well, my kids run in there, so what? Fair enough, but they ain't your woods. It's the person who owns it. Right. So there's always that tension that's out there. Yeah,
I can only imagine, because, I would have automatically assumed that, it's in your backyard. Yeah. You thinking it's yours.
And not paying taxes on it.
Right. Well, overall though, I like I said, as I ride around Rock Hill, for me, coming up as a little boy riding around here with my parents and seeing where it's come to and what I see is happening, I'm like you, I love Rock Hill, even though I'll be leaving soon, I'm going to move to Charlotte, but at the end of the day, I got some opportunity presented itself that I got to take.
I don't blame you.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm still, our office is here, so I'll still be here every day. Good. But I'm definitely someone who, like I say, I love Rock Hill, and and from my perspective, I feel like you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Just like I say, main thing, I always like to see who's involved in the community, and I surely do see you out and about. We run into each other all the time at community events. So I think that is awesome, great. So thank you for your time.
Sure, let's do it again in about a year.
Oh yeah.
We'll talk about what's changed from today until
Absolutely, definitely. Let's do it again. So thank you again, Mr. Mayor. John Gettys coming through. Sweet Tea Cafe. This has been the Mr. Dark Out Podcast. This is motivation to trust God and live your dreams. And that's one of the biggest takeaways I feel like people should take away from what we talked about is don't skip steps. Go through the process. Make sure you are prepared for the blessings to come. All right, amen to that. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to the Mr. Dark Out Podcast. Again, it's motivation to trust God and live your dreams. We'll catch y'all next time.
Enjoyed it. Yeah. Good.